Oh, yeah. 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 Is that the right thing? Probably. That probably works, doesn't it? Who knows? I don't. Hello, can you hear me? I hope you can. I'm BoredGamer. You may remember me from such things as this live stream now. I can't sleep. I've had a fucking awful couple of days, last couple of days. Just had like constant anxiety attacks and not been feeling very well. I tell you what does also give me anxiety, not producing content or a video or streaming. And I was a bit bored and couldn't get to sleep, so I wanted to stream, just to chat, unloading my personal problems on a load of viewers, or at least some viewers. Thank you very much. You are my, I don't know, people that I appreciate that listen to my problems. You know what? No, I'm not that bad, to be honest. It's just sometimes I can't cope with. Like, I'll give you an example. Okay, sometimes I'm worried about stroking my cat. Yeah, it's not a euphemism, but I'm worried I'll hurt my cat when I stroke it. Like I'll accidentally break its neck or something. That's the sort of just weird bullshit worries that I have, and it makes me go fucking mad. I heard a noise outside earlier, and I was like, my cat's been run over. It's fine. It's fine. It hasn't. But that's what I thought. And there was I sent something in the post that hasn't arrived to the person, and I was just like worried. I was like, oh my god, it's like 1,500 quid's worth of stuff, and it hasn't arrived. It's going to be my fault. I was thinking, well, it's probably the delivery company's fault. And even if it is my fault, it's not the end of the world. I was trying to make some Star Citizen content today, but on the 2 accounts that I wanted to use to create that content, all my ships are destroyed, and I can't make them appear on the ASOP terminals, so I can't do my security and Outlaw video that I wanted to do, because I want to describe all the reasons why you'd want to be an outlaw, why you'd want to be a pirate, why you'd want to be a naughty boy, an edgy boy in the current 3.5 live build, because there's actually quite a lot going on there. There's some cool counter mission stuff. There's security forces that will keep on coming in to attack you, and as your sort of like security rating increases, there's your outlaw
or beautiful
criminal rating increases, the more ships and the higher rank of ships will come and attack you. Eventually, like hammerheads will come and try and wreck your day. And it's only in certain areas; it's not everywhere. It's environmental sort of like missions. But there's some cool stuff with the outlaw and pirate gameplay. There's specific missions. There's specific mission givers. Destroying cargo ships can spawn cargo crates that you can then pick up. There's lots of these PvP orientated missions. Lots of missions you can only get if you're an outlaw. There's quite a lot more to do now, and obviously there's still security post Korea. But yeah, I think there's enough gameplay now for pirates and outlaw type gameplay to have a bit more of a place in the game, a bit more justified, and I think people will complain less that are against it, because Jumptown is now not the only place that you can make money. In fact, drugs running is significantly less likely to make you money. It just doesn't make the sort of like same sort of capital it previously did. The markups like 8%, 15% sort of thing. And there's lots of different drugs labs now, and there's lots of different types of drug. So Widow, Ultratoxin, Slam, Neon, Etam. There's a few. So that's quite interesting, and missions now generate a butt ton of money, and missions sort of like slowly progress. And with the like assassination missions, which are basically bounty hunts, but for the outlaws, you work your way up to get stronger and stronger bounties that give you more and more money, and eventually you'll be finding like hammerheads is the idea with that, or whatever the biggest ship they have in game at the time. But at the moment, let's talk about this very quickly. If anyone wants to ask any questions, please question in brackets. You can ask anything you want, really. But I mean, it's preferred that you ask something that I can answer. So either about YouTube, about my channel, about me, about Star Citizen type stuff. That's the more preferred topic, about mental health. we're sort of like jump back and forth between topics. My head is pretty sporadic today, so you have to bear with me. Let's bring this up. So at the moment, there are server issues. If people want to monitor this page, I suggest that they do that. 3.5 live has some server issues. I'm experiencing some of them on all of my accounts, different ones on all of my accounts. So hopefully that gets fixed ASAP. This has happened in live builds before when they go live. They sort of like haven't hooked up the databases properly from the PTUs. And this is going to be a small criticism of Star Citizen. Not that I need to defend it or criticize it or whatever. I'll just give my own opinions of it. When they are running late with a PTU to live build, yeah, they seem to, as soon as they have what they would deem a release candidate, if there's no major problems that they've been previously experiencing for a couple of hours, they release it to live without triple checking, at least in my opinion. Maybe they do triple check. Maybe they have gone through all the steps and maybe they just need to add a couple more. But this has happened before with certain things being broken, shops not being hooked up properly. I think it has. Citation needed, but pretty sure it had. When I had the problems, like, oh, this is just it'll be fixed within a few hours. This is just stuff not being hooked up to the back end of the shops and the cache, the persistent cache, that deals with your ships and the shops. But hopefully that will be fixed soon, because I'd like very much to get a lot of footage and for the security stuff and actually make some content. Yeah, today was a bad day. I just felt really guilty of not making content. No, what? I just clicked on soon. You're gonna have to bear with me. You have to bear with me. If you've got any questions, question in brackets, that will help me pick them out. As I said, some stuff I do want to talk about today. Obviously, 3.5 is live. We can talk about that as much as you want. There's persistent habs now. Bam, I've done a video on that and talked about that in the patch notes, because it wasn't in the patch notes, but persistent habs exist. Your habs might teleport around a bit, but your room in Port Olisar will always be your room. It might teleport into a different strut or a different room, but the actual contents of that room will be saved. And when you go to Lawville, you'll have your own unique room in Lawville. You'll have your own unique room in Levski, Grimhex, Area 18, bam. And Port Olisar, obviously. Let's have a look at... what I actually want to talk about in a minute is this newsletter, which is the My voice has gone very, very sort of like monotone. I do apologise. I haven't got any soul in my voice today. Maybe you like the dull set, slightly midnight tones of BoredGamer today. So yeah, there was a Chairman's Club newsletter, which I will link here as well if people want to look at it. And it talked about some stuff, like it implied there might be a pirate version of the Corsair, like a pirate skin for it. I haven't actually completed Pirate Swarm in 3.5 yet. I'll see if that's an actual thing that's existing at the moment, or something that might just be in game in the future. But they said, cool, Corsairs, pirate Corsairs are probably going to be a thing. Basically, they're updating the Chairman's Club stuff. So if you're a concierge, if you spent over $1,000 on your account, yes, I know, madness on a computer game. However, there's quite a lot of us, because a lot of us are mad. Then they're making some sort of like new dynamic website, which is cool. But more importantly, reports from SASE, which is in the Centauri system, and SASE is where Tumbril Land Systems and I think MISC's headquarters are. There's a new project from Tumbril Land Systems in the works. I'm assuming that it is going to be a vehicle rather than any form of ship, because that's what Tumbril Land Systems do. It's sort of like Clue is in the name. But they do make HOV vehicles, they do make military vehicles, they do make ground, tired vehicles. Not sleepy tired, but, you know, ones with tires, wheels. And I thought this was absolutely beautiful as well. So this screenshot, it is not a screenshot, concept work, is absolutely fantastic. To me, this looks like the planet in Avatar, I can't remember what the fuck it's called, one with unobtainium on. It looks like the humans won and built a civilization on that planet. That's what it looks like and feels like to me. I think it looks absolutely amazing. And I can't tell if this is water or if this is just... I don't think it is water. It just sort of looks like water. This is clearly inspired, well, at least to me, by Sydney Opera House and that sort of stuff. And Avatar. Like mixed together. But I think it looks amazing. Fine. Right, let's have a look through chat briefly. Your bike was stolen. I'm very sorry. Everything's broken in Star Citizen right now. I know. I've had the problem all day, which is why I haven't made any content in the same way that I would normally make content. How many hours I'm going to stream? Probably not very long. I'm going to go to bed once I'm tired. It's the season shift. I do get seasonal dysfunctional disorder, but not just for winter. Actually, I quite like winter. Winter's probably my favourite sort of like time of the year. So I quite like the cold. I've got my... a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago even, people crowdfunded me a aircon unit, and that keeps me cool throughout the day. Anxiety, why? I mean, what's running through your mind that bothers you? It can be anything and everything. So I can be in the shower and I can just be worried about death and think, what happens when we die? No one has the fucking answers. Why is no one talking about this? Why is everyone acting like children and running around and hurting each other or being stupid when we don't understand what it means to die? If there's nothing, then why aren't we all working on trying to live longer or trying to go for like extended consciousness and try and work that out as quickly as possible? That just seems sensible to me, and that thought will go around in my head and drive me mad for many hours. But as I said, it can be loads of different things. It can be worrying about my family. It can be worrying about what if tomorrow that my computer explodes, there's no more internet, or it can be anything and everything. And typically, it will be the smallest, tiniest thing that I don't have control of that will sort of like make me super depressed or like I can't cope. But big things, anything that I have any form of control of, or at least can make plans for, I'm fine with. My brain is actually very chaotic, but I manage that by being as ordered as I can be. And once I get to a level of ordered, I go, that is enough order. That's enough work you've done today. That's enough whatever. I'm very good at focusing on a single thing. As soon as I have to focus on multiple things, terrible. Which is why I'm not great at playing and talking to chat. I'm very good at talking or playing. I'm very try-hard focused when I play games as well. People have seen me actually play a game properly. You'll see the try-hard focusedness and occasional witticisms. It's Star Citizen a work in progress and still an empty universe of bugs and flaws. It's very pretty. It's quite fun. There's quite a lot in it now. Into the area that it's got. It's still full of bugs and flaws. It's very alpha. It's very alpha. It's very fun though. If you've got an organisation or a group to play with, it is great. Board CIG just uploaded the RTV just as you went live. Fantastic. I will check that out later. If it's any good, then I will do a summary of it, or at least I'll add it to tomorrow's news. Playtesting a game that is 8 years down in development. What? I mean, it's longer than that if you want to count every year that it's been considered. I mean, 2011, Chris Roberts talked about a game that he wanted to do, Star Citizen. Really, Star Citizen has been development as it is now, its beast that it is now, since 2015. That's basically when they redid everything. Maybe what does it take? 25 hours for my ships to respawn. Is that a bug? Yes, that is a bug. They're working on it currently. It's not actually that long. Well, it is long if you want to play quick and you've only got one ship. I will collect many turtles in my, not Lawville hangar, in my Area 18 hangar. How many major cities do you think we'll see in Star Citizen once it's released? I don't think we'll actually see that many hero major city landing zones. So places like Area 18 when it's done, places like Lawville, when it's done. I think a couple of dozen, maybe sort of like up to 30, maybe, when it comes to major city type things. I think that might even be quite a few. When do you think CIG will give us more on the Tumbril vehicle? So the Corsair sale ends on the 22nd of April in a couple of days. And I believe that every 6 weeks, typically, we have a new concept sale. So on the 25th, so next week, on Thursday is when I expect a pre-sale for a new concept thing. And I would suspect that would probably be a Tumbril vehicle, because they normally give us little hints just before. That makes sense. We don't really know what that Tumbril vehicle could be. It could be a utility vehicle, it could be a military vehicle or combat vehicle, or it could be something more civilian. I'm hoping for, personally, either some form of utility vehicle, so a salvage vehicle, a repair vehicle, a tow vehicle, a mining vehicle, something for building, something that would be absolutely awesome and cool. But I'd also be happy with a military vehicle as well, light tank, APC, proper military ones. That would be absolutely fantastic as well. It feels like the ground combat is lacking at the moment, because all we have is sort of like some buggies, and sort of like you have to actively engage each other for them to do anything. Can't really do much against ships, although you can argue with the new flight model and sort of like the EMP on the Cyclone AA. That's pretty effective. I don't feel necessarily guilty for not producing content in the way that it's sort of like, it's my fault. I just don't like having a day that's idle. It's more sort of like an anxiety rather than guilt. Maybe it is guilt as well, but it's definitely anxiety over it. Like, I want to produce a video a day. Yeah, at least. Really, I want 2 videos a day. I want one to be of a very high quality, and I'm fine with the other one being sort of like, when I talk about quality, what I mean is researched and informative. So the other one, I'm okay with it being a bit more gameplay orientated, as long as there's some interesting stuff going on there, and good conversation, and good sort of like, as long as I feel it adds to either showcasing the game, showcasing how the game plays at the moment, what the missions are like, something like that. As long as it does something like that, I'm pretty happy. Doesn't have to be like super researched. It can be done live effectively. It can be done in one take. And really, what I'd like to do is do 2 videos every day and stream, like 5 days a week or 4 days a week, more realistically. That's probably what I'll do when Zin's around. When Zin's around, lots more content. And when I stream, maybe I'll do like 3 days of Star Citizen and 1 day of another game or something like that. I sort of like, I'm going to be talking to my Patreons and channel members and the greater community as well about exactly what people want. I really admire what Rexzilla's done with his live stream stuff. He has pretty low effort, because he's got the right people working with him, sort of like big battles. And I say relatively low effort. Obviously, there's a reasonable amount of organisation that goes into them. But they just work. And they work even if stuff goes wrong, and they just bam into the next one, bam into the next one. It's a very good sort of like way of doing that. So I want to start playing with my community and other people's communities during the day to get B-roll footage and to make videos and to stream with as well. So I was going to start doing that today, but there was loads of problems with the servers, so I went, ugh. So one of the reasons I was a bit anxious as well. How many turtles do I have? I have 0 in my hangar at the moment. I had about 12 in my last hangar before the reset. I did plan to get more and do like a picture and sort of like how many entities can you get into a room. Also, the plan is to try and get a grey cat buggy and some stuff that's more tangible into the persistent hangars to see if they actually persist there, because they technically should. I love the idea of pets in game. Pets was one of the stretch goals. It's the $64 million stretch goal, I think. Citation needed. And I'm fine with them being quite simple. the problem is I don't want them to be able to be killed. You've got a pet. I don't want. I'm weird about animals in game. Like some animals are fine with being killed, but not cats, not foxes. I try and protect deer a lot of the time, although I do play hunting games. I'm just thinking about Division 2, where all my friends just murder all the animals. They're okay with the foxes and the dogs. They leave them alone. Great. But they shoot all the deers, and I quite like the deers. The first thing I did in Division 2, when I saw like a bird flying, right, I poof, shot the bird, and it was a bald eagle. Oh, fuck. Wow. This like giant thing just comes down, hits the floor, and Sam goes, I think he killed a bald eagle. Oh, God. Oh. Dear. Theories were that the Car 2 Al would benefit from the new flight model and strafing. Has that been proven true? Not been proven true to me, seeing I've not used it yet in 3.5 Live. I will add that to my list of things to do this weekend. This is Bored After Dark. Is it a water-covered planet, though? I don't think that is water on that that picture we had. No, let's bring this book up.
Tricksy little.
I don't think that is water.
07. Hope all is well with you and your family.
Oh, I'll give a daddy update. Oh, thank you very much, Spectre Dusk, for the raid. Very much appreciated. Delamars, I love your face. You're a sexy piece of man flesh. Thank you very much for the bits. Thank you for all the subs. Thank you, Benjamin, for the super chat donation. Every 99 cents helps. Thank you very much appreciated. And boy, thank you very much for the resub. Very much appreciated. 2 months is a long time to be subscribed to one such as myself. So I do appreciate it. Thank you. But you see here, I don't think it's water. I thought it was water to start with. And it looks like it's on a pier. But it doesn't make sense if this is water, does it? It's sort of like... I think it's the air, the clouds, and weird things. I think. It's hard to tell. Sort of like an eerie mist. You're an eerie mist. Fujin City? No, Sassy is the planet, isn't it? For a development team of 5 studios, 8 years, and more than 100... Oh, 218 million, I think, at the... No, 222 million? They got a lot of money. There's nothing to do with the money. They're developing a live game from an alpha, and they're starting to deliver now. It's actually getting reasonably good. Next year, they should have Squadron 42 Episode 1 out. I see you're trying to be critical and negative, and that's fine. It's just... current server problems, I wouldn't say is much related to the amount of money they've got and their development quality. I'd say it's, you know, a problem with live builds of alpha games. Potential answer to existential crisis. Does it matter? Just do what you want and it should be fine. Indecision strikes me and worry just randomly though. So like it paralyzes you sometimes. What happened with the cinematic scenes they were teasing in the newsletter? Cinematic scenes they were teasing in the newsletter. I don't know what you mean specifically. I do want to show off this though. So this was the updated Vanduul model, which I very much like. Can I just loop it? Can I just loop? Loop, no loop? Gonna be good loopy? Yeah, you are. So, I like this for very many reasons. I think it looks fantastic. And knowing how their face rigs are driven, that they can have these things sort of like quite well emotive based on human performances, like Andy Serkis performing as one, or other people playing as one. You can get some pretty cool, terrifying aliens that are really pretty good bad guys. The thing is that they have Vanduul characters in the game, and we know that they're going to have Vanduul characters in Squadron 42 that will take on some form of role of some size. How do you develop those characters when they're alien? That's a hard thing. Are they just evil? Are we going to know their motivations? Are they not going to care? Is it just all going to be from the character's point of view? Obviously, they're trying to do something very cinematic with it. Have you checked the roadmap update yet? Any ideas if they're going to release a 3.5.x patch this weekend? I suspect they're trying to fix the last of those remaining major problems with 3.5 live. Can bring those up and actually discuss them. That's probably quite a good shout. Obviously, we've got server problems at the moment, which is literally meaning that some ASOP terminal's broken, can't spawn some ships, things like that. Some pretty big problems. They've also got let's bring this for you. Anything major? Ships don't leave behind cargo when destroyed is actually important, because I was talking about that in a video I'm going to be doing tomorrow. Delivery boxes can fall through the floors of some ships. That's pretty bad. I suspect if you place them, though, they'll be fine. It's if you drop them, I find things just fall through the floor if you drop them anyway. Well, these are just sort of like outlying issues that aren't that important. They'll get fixed pretty easily. And they haven't got that many. These aren't terrible problems. The server problems are the worst. But I suspect these will be addressed in a 3.5.x patch. Also, the flyable variants of the 300 series, not 300i, because the 300i is fully working in 3.5, but the rest of the variants of the 300 series are planned for a 3.5.x patch in the very near future. And then there should be a sale for those 300 series of ships and customization options on the RSI website for them. They said in one of the newsletter we talked about. Well, actually, I'm not sure if it. Saber Studios, can you be more specific on exactly what they talked about? Feel free to paste the paragraph. I know that at the moment they are working on a broader vertical slice for Squadron 42 for the first third of the game. Now, hopefully, that is a vertical slice that media will see. So press will see, something they might show at CitizenCon, something they might use to advertise the game, something that we will get to see as backers and consumers of Star Citizen nom-noms. I mean, Duke Nukem Forever as 1996 to 2011, 15 years development cycle, isn't a great example of a game that was in development because it was terrible when it was finished. But some games have terribly long sort of like times. Typically, development times. Typically, a game won't be announced until it's closer to completion from major studios. So that means some can be worked on for years and years and years, and then they go, we're announcing it now. Yeah. Feel free to criticize, but your sort of criticism of that is a bit unfair, or at least you're trying to attack it from every point that you can, rather than saying, it sucks and it shouldn't suck because it's been in development for so long. Well, it does. Be realistic about it. Has it started to deliver from the last 3 years? Yes. Is it significantly better? Yes. Well, maybe not at the moment if you can't spawn ships properly, but should be fixed within like a day. There's definitely criticisms to be made of Star Citizen. They remade a huge portion of the game. Maybe they shouldn't have. There was loads of problems with the original Star Marine and the first-person shooter stuff for the game, and we don't have the end-game style satable still. Lots of stuff seems to be redone and reworked. They seem to be perfectionist over all the stuff and quite slow to that. And obviously, their funding style is very unique to them. They don't have a publisher, so it's easy to criticize them for they're selling stuff to whales. Well, not your money. It's not loot box practice. People know what they're getting, at least to some degree. I can argue that, again, ships, the intention of the ship does change a bit, or at least the specifics of a ship might change. The intention doesn't typically. Unless the Redeemer, you're talking about the Redeemer, in which case the Redeemer did change massively. It's being reworked at the moment, like a huge rework, basically reconcepting the ship as a gunship rather than as a dropship. So. They said in one of their newsletters, there's some, I haven't talked about that. Any updates on the 300i variants race? Nope. Not that I'm aware of. We just check the road map. Make sure they haven't plotted in anything exciting. Yeah, so they're polishing the 315P, 325A, and 350R at the moment. Get that in the near future. I think there's been a few things. NPC healing, close combat, and the player status system has moved from 3.7 to 3.8. Yeah, that sort of makes sense. Something that they're working on largely for Squadron 42, I suppose. Needs to be ready for 3.8. Makes sense that it might take a little bit longer to get it into the persistent universe. Do you think the next patch will reset our progress? What, the 3.5.x patch? Potentially. If it's a database issue that's causing the problems. The bin64 delete fixed my server issue. Well, that's nice to know. And delete registry.blob and system32, yeah? Next weekend, I will be at BritisonCon. If anyone else is up in Manchester, there'll be a Barcelona afterwards, I suspect, as well. Yeah, check that out. BritisonCon. Where I'll be. Bam. So on the 27th of April, I'll be there. I'll be drinking with Mr. Brian Chambers, potentially Tim Welch, with Maya, who's going to be the master of ceremonies for the event. JR Fabrications will be there. I'll chat to them there. Yeah. Cool. You can buy tickets for £30 or you get them on the door as well. Been watching my videos for a few weeks now, Priest, and you're not even subbed. You monster. You need to ding that bell as well. Ding, ding, mother trucker. I'm so glad I'm not a high energy YouTuber. I'm quite excited when I talk about things. And to people about stuff. Just about anything, really. But, no, I'm glad I'm not like, whoa, yeah, guys, let's fucking do it. We're gonna fucking ring that bell. Boo, boo, make sure you tell a friend. Oh my God. Hey, did you sub? I'm not too fussed about the Saturn ball, to be honest. It's sort of irrelevant. Oh, new sub, Priest, thank you. I fucking love you. Subbed and given me money. The best. Is there something from the previous iterations of the game that you would bring back if you could? Such as something from older ArcCorp or previous versions of ships? If we could have had 2.6.3's combat for ships at a large scale, without rubber banding, without problems, and it worked for atmospheric flight, and there wasn't any issues, and it just was worked and it was lightweight.
Oh, beautiful.
I think I'd probably prefer that flight model, because I got really good with it, and I really enjoyed it. And so now I have nostalgia for it, and it was great for PvP. Marksmanship, thank you very much for the bits. I love bits. I love free stuff given to me. Those donations are the best, mate. Thank you. Very much appreciated. Just followed and then given me stuff. Thank you. Question. Animation is currently syncing with cinematics for a few interesting segments that backers will get to enjoy soon. Sorry, slight misinterpretation. Yeah, so I suspect they're producing some stuff for Squadron 42's marketing campaign and for the end of year stuff. So Citizen Con and the sort of like end of year live stream stuff. Again, we talked earlier about a broader vertical slice being made for the first third of Squadron 42 at the moment, and I suspect that is something that we will see probably this year, and that's probably something to do with that. Wait, is the Vulcan around the corner now? It's not on the roadmap yet. Let me just check that to make sure that is accurate. I suspect that we will, in a few weeks, see the 3.6 roadmap get a little bit more bloated, and then 3.7 absorb some of 3.8 and some of 3.6, and get a bit more obvious. And they say the only sort of surprise ships that we have this year that like truly surprises for me are the Spirit Prowler and the Hull C for 3.8. Obviously, we're getting the Anvil Carrack as well in that patch. The 890 jump for 3.6, I think is pretty surprise. And for 3.9, the Drake Vulture is a surprise because it's a lot earlier than I thought we were going to get that ship. Any other sort of like super major ships? I mean, the Vanguard's getting massive rework as well. Getting the variants of that as well in 3.6. That's pretty cool. And how independent is BoredGamer? Well, what do you mean? I don't leave my house much. I can't drive. I don't need to care. What do you mean? I'm not employed or paid by CIG or anyone else other than YouTube. I get referrals for Shadow and NordVPN, which I will be supporting in the future. I can say anything the fuck I want about anything. I'm not contracted or obliged to say anything about anything. Don't get paid by anyone that would affect my opinion on Star Citizen. Probably would want to not be too dickish about Shadow, but if Shadow or NordVPN, not that I've actually started to promote NordVPN yet, if they were unsuitable for stuff that I wanted to use them for and unsuitable for Star Citizen, I would stop using them until they were usable again. Stop promoting them, I suppose. Yeah, I'm pretty fucking independent. Thanks for asking. I do obviously get supported by Patreon, by direct donations, by people just watching my content. How long does it normally take for telemetry to account for a sweeping hardware change, or is that data I need input on RSI manually? I think it's automated, and I think the telemetry changes should be there now for 3.5. Literally, it's all the telemetry data they currently have there. So let's bring this up and show people. Just stop. Also, I don't know if some people in chat are trolling or not, but I will treat everyone as if they've asked sensible questions for the most part, and I'll answer them. I think that's something fair and reasonable. Typically, if people are trolling, they'll get bored. But I will treat everyone as if I'm a customer service rep for my business, because effectively I am. So this is the latest telemetry page. Did I post that? I probably did. Does that take you to the telemetry page? No, it doesn't. Huh. It's robertspaceindustries.com/telemetry. That will take you here. Now, you can see all of the data for 3.5 within the last 24 hours. We can see that my system apparently falls around here. So apparently I'm getting an average of 60 frames per second. That is incorrect. I'm getting significantly more frames. I suppose maybe it's... I don't know where it's taking that data from. I get an average of 60 frames when I'm around Lawville or Houston, and some people are getting 70 frames. Ah, it's a 1440p, is it? Oh, no, it's not. Getting more frames. What's the reso on the game at? 1440p. This is my system specs. Got a fuck ton of RAM, but that's because I create videos. It's very useful for Adobe Premiere. And you can see all of the stats. Compare your rig with other people's to work out what is a good rig effectively now. Gives you a lot more information than it previously did. You can now filter by resolution and by game settings and things like that. You can see what terrible scores some people get with certain processors. And it's not just going to be down to the hardware configuration. It's going to be down to other stuff as well. I've seen people post on Reddit that they got Majora Linux working with Star System really fucking well. Which is really great to hear.
Tricksy little hobbitses.
You can see like the 2080 Ti's seem to be really performing pretty well. 1080 Ti's are still performing superbly. And the 8700Ks, 990Ks for the old Intels seem to be strong. Okay. But yeah, I like the sort of analytical data here. It's useful. We also have stability score. The stability score is showing how stable the servers are. Stability score is calculated by disconnects per hour. Per average concurrency, a lower stability score is a reflection of a more stable branch. This is less stable than 3.4 currently, which is why they want to try and get the stability score down. Loading times are terrible for some people. Oh. Will we get a 3.5 vid from CIG, or does the 3-week radio silence start now? So it shouldn't be 3 weeks radio silence from now. We've had 3 weeks of no ATV, so we should have an ATV next week. If they go, oh no, it's 3 weeks from when we publish. What were you doing for the last 3 weeks then? That'll be 6 weeks of no ATV. That is not acceptable for me anyway. We should have we should have RTV every week. Still, shouldn't be radio silence. We should start to see some more stuff. Yeah, I'm a Star Citizen fan and news creator that just covers the game. Overall, he's just a Star Citizen fanboy, as if he's getting paid. Oh, come on, I'm so critical of so many different aspects of the game. I'm just realistic about it, and I'm excited for it. Fine, you don't have to be yourself. No one else has to be. They can go and find all the information they want, and they can make their own decision. I don't even suggest people buy anything beyond a starter package if they're interested in the game, and the game is not suitable for mainstream play at the moment either. I'm very realistic with stuff. You are attempting to say things that aren't necessarily true and potentially push your own narrative, which I don't appreciate personally, but bad Book of the Damned. Bad. We came for the updates and stay for your beautiful face. Thank you. I appreciate that. That makes me feel happy. You see, that is all I wanted to do the channel for. It's for the ego boost. Pretty much it. But do you feel that we have access to all the info present at an objective viewpoint? You have access to all info to present objective. I believe that I have access to a lot of info to present my viewpoint. I sort of cover the news, so it would be a mixture of I cover stuff factually, but also give my opinion on it. And my opinion is going to be biased. Anyone's opinion is going to be biased by certain things. And we can discuss bias all day and what the actual meaning of bias is. But I'm obviously biased towards enjoying Star Citizen. I like it. I wouldn't have a channel on it if I didn't really enjoy the project as it's evolving. And I suppose I am incentivized for Star Citizen to do well, or at least for my channel to get more popular. You can take that as you want. However, the more negative I am about Star Citizen, probably the more views I'd get. But I'm just going to cover the game. I'm going to enjoy doing that. I'm going to do a mixture of gameplay on it, but it's largely going to be a news channel, and then it's going to start doing guides as well, and then it will evolve wherever it needs to evolve to. But I am planning to do it for the next good few years. Appreciate it, thank you. I do appreciate all the love. But I will answer people's questions, and people have a genuine right to ask stuff. You shouldn't be like, oh, well, I'm not going to answer your question, you're a troll. Well, people are being really, really directly sort of like disruptive and clearly being annoying. That's a little bit different. I think some people are genuine. Did you update your build? Well, my rig? Can you be more specific, Ash? Vulcan will bring a much needed performance uptick. I saw that I saw that No Man's Sky were pushing towards VR and have just released a Vulcan update, and obviously Star Citizen wants Vulcan for VR, but also because of the massive improvements that Vulcan will bring. So yeah, hopefully Star Citizen will get that stuff integrated soon. I think at the moment they are trying to finish off those core mechanics and push for Squadron 42. Now some of the stuff for Squadron 42 might include Vulcan integration. I am hoping we get that ASAP. But we need server-side object container streaming as well. Before we get any more gameplay area in Star Citizen, we need server-side object container streaming, because there's too much for a single server to realistically support now without it. Oh, I do genuinely appreciate the love. For the man board, I don't comment that much, but I look forward to your updates and the information. Thank you. I'm not sure if I've updated my issue council information on this account. Thank you. That's quite possibly it. I think we'll see a patch in the next hour or two before the weekend. I think it's quite possible we could see a patch during the weekend, and we could see it this evening as well, though. And they do like to work a long shift around releases like this. I'm hoping we see a more stabilized 3.6 branch soon of what they sort of like plan to put in. I'd like to see something closer to content locked for 3.6 over the next couple of weeks as well. But yeah, there's so BrizzCon next weekend. I'll try and get what content I can up. For 3.5, I've got lots and lots and lots of stuff planned. There was a crime and security video I want to get out ASAP. What do we got? I want to look at down satellite mission changes in 3.5 with some of the planets and moons. Season destroy drugs mission from ArcCorp, so the counter of the Twitch Pacheco mission. Atmospheric flight, probably HOV vehicles at the same time. Do want to do some stuff on meta and combat and weapons. We'll do a 3.5 state of the game once it's sort of like more leveled. We'll look at the new drugs and drug labs. So Paradise Cove, the Orphanage, and there's a few more across Liberia and the rest of the standard system. We'll take a look at the Javelin wreck. How does heat work as a mechanic? How do the MFDs work? How do auto gimbals work? Signatures and scanning, so EM, IR, CS signatures. I'll do an updated mining gameplay video. So a lot of stuff I want to do with 3.5 over the next couple of weeks, or next month, is probably sort of like cataloguing effectively each of the gameplay loops. So doing a playthrough and chatting about that gameplay loop and how it's changed and how it's going to evolve. We'll look through all the mission giver missions. We'll look through the scaling of missions for bounty hunting missions and box missions and PvP missions. We will start looking through doing a ship buyer's guide of all of the ships. I was hoping Zin would be working for me now, but it's more likely she's going to be end of June, probably start, or mid of June. It was when I wanted to do the ship guys guide because I want camera angles and her to help me with them. But probably do a Lorville and Hurston tour, a Levski tour, just with the new updates and everything. Look at the scanning mechanics, cargo hauling gameplay. Some of the stuff that's not listed in 3.5 that's improved or changed, because obviously persistent habs, for example, weren't listed. Look at Easter eggs. There's some other stuff. I'll take suggestions as well. I mean, we can look at how to make Alpha UEC and guides on very specific things as well. Huntress wants me to do a video on explaining the difference between the PTU, the public test universe, and the PU, the persistent universe. And persistent universe is Star Citizen, sort of like the live MMO persistent environment. It's the Stanton system that we have now. That is persistent universe. The persistent universe exists in a live build, and when they have the PTU servers up, in the PTU build. The PTU is literally just the test servers that aren't live. Well, they are available, but they're not the live build. I don't know if I could do a proper video on that. I might add it to the news, because you did draw me a diagram. I appreciate it. Thanks, Andres. Do I actually... Oh, this is something I saw, which I was very impressed with. Because I didn't have the data myself. So someone had made a chart of how the quantum drives get you very, very sporadic notes on this. Just the difference range between size 1, 2, and 3 quantum drives. But this gives the drive name, the size, and what ships have it by default, and how long it takes you to get to from Olisar to Hurston ArcCorp, and that sort of jazz, which is pretty slick. It can take just under 4 minutes to get from Olisar to Hurston with a size 3 drive, but up to 13.5 minutes with a size 1. And there's such a massive difference. Oh, KWO311USMC. I don't know. Your name is so long to say. What up, board haters gonna hate? Keep doing your thing. Well, it means not necessarily haters. People can have their own opinions. They don't have to have mine. It doesn't have to be an echo chamber. Hope I don't run an echo chamber. But, you know, some people want to watch Star Citizen chat and, you know, probably like me on my channel or Star Citizen. So it's going to attract more like-minded peoples, or at least people that have that in common. I don't mind people having differing viewpoints on that. It's all good. But thank you very much for the donation. Very much appreciated, buddy. Oh, Priest. So I know I've already said thanks, but there's an official priest that's followed, and he subscribed on Prime. Well, there's lots of priests. Thank you very much. But no, it's the same priest. Priest 86 is now official Priest 86. Is followed on Twitch. And thank you, very much appreciate. You confused my fragile little brain. Yeah, so what server-side object container streaming does is, so we have client-side object container streaming, which is something we needed to be able to have large-scale planets and that sort of stuff. But server-side object container streaming is needed for the servers as they're bottlenecking now. So server-side object container streaming allows them to pause, turn off, pause, save, and sort of like wind down areas of a server. So they can go, no one is currently on Port Olisar. Port Olisar is paused and saved, and when the server's not currently running it, it will start running it again when someone gets near it. Sort of puts it on standby, puts whatever you want to call it. And so with that, they can have potentially much more, a larger player count in servers, but also the servers are massively less taxed. And they need this because they are pretty much, as far as I'm aware, at their limit when it comes to a single server being able to run the gameplay area they've got, because all of it is effectively loaded in. Not entirely. There is culling going on. There's some clever stuff and optimizations going on, but they need server-side object contained streaming, and it's a prerequisite of having full persistence, of having server meshing. I watch BoredGamer because I love BoredGamer. The fact that he's running a Star Citizen news and updates channel is just icing on the cake. Thanks, JBirdMax. See, this is why I like JBirdMax, long-time supporter of the channel. Thanks. Appreciate it. I love you, Floorbot, as well. BoredGamer, please don't talk to the trolls. It's annoying all the people who appreciate your work. It's okay. It's all good. Okay, I'll give you some appreciation. I love you. I love you, Ash. I love you, Floorboard. I love you, JBirdMax. You all my special. Sod White even, you're beautiful. I remember Counter-Strike Source. What were we talking about? News uBlock. AdBlock was sold to a company that whitelist advertisers for money. I will check that later, Crypto Dream. Thank you very much. I'm very security conscious now that my channel's getting bigger and stuff. So I'm going to be using VPNs and stuff to protect me. So I don't want, like, you know, get attacked when I'm streaming. And I want to standardize some more stuff. But I will check that. That's appreciated. I'm checking the roadmap right now, and I can't find the gas cloud tech. So what version has it been pushed to? Let us have a look. It will almost certainly be in Squadron 42 roadmap. Boop, boop. Up on the screen. Nice chilled out stream. Just sort of like talking through. Got VFX improvements for the gas clouds in Q4. So I know they've got the improved fog tech and layered fog. Let's go to. Can't see it there. So I'll give you some BoredGamer facts. There's all this shit down. Bam. So they are going to have Crusader, which is a gas giant, in properly for 3.9. At least that's the plan. And Horizon, the landing zone there. So they should have the gas cloud tech for gas giants then. The gas tech that you are potentially talking about, though, is used for the Odin system, or at least originally, to produce effects in the coil nebula type areas, these corridors of smoke and gas everywhere, which is then going to be used for other bits and bobs around the verse. However, I don't know exactly when that is going to be put into the persistent universe. They are starting to use some gas cloud type tech in the game now. For 3.6, we're seeing layered planetary ground fog tech, so layered fog. I believe that is something they also needed to use for Crusader. I'm pointing at my screen and stuff, even though you can't see it. But I'm not sure. Atmospheric tech improvements probably do with that as well. I'm not sure where gas cloud tech for Nebula and that sort of stuff is coming. It might already be done by now. Because this is just improvements. I know they've been working on it for a long time, but obviously you can see the gas cloud improvements in Q4 of this year. So it's assumed that it'll be done before then, if it's not done already. But weather tech as well is different from all of that we just talked about. Although they might use some stuff sideways, it's unlikely. Dynamic weather will be its own thing. Thanks, Priest. Appreciate it. Got confused. Okay, appreciate Priest Robert Campbell. I love you. Why not? Is there a feature in-game or plan to allow org founders to permit members to use purchased ships? There is not yet. there are going to be deeper org features. It's one of the pillars of the game, and the expectation is that you will be able to. They're building a permission system already at the moment, so that as captain of a ship, I can give different permissions to different people on the ship to use different terminals and to open different doors. But also in orgs, that should obviously propagate to people being able to borrow ships and have org hangers and things like that. That's assumed, but I mean, I think it's a reasonable assumption to make. Mate, I'm the smoothest with transitions. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm Mr. Smooth. It's pronounced prerequisite. Prerequisite. Okay. Or do I pronounce it pre-requisite? You are loved. You're all loved. All of you giving me money. Love your videos. Thanks. Vood dude. I love your videos too. No, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the donation. Very much appreciated. Is Arena Commander worth playing in this build of 3.5? Okay. Arena Commander, Vanduul Swarm, I had quite good fun in. Haven't actually tried Pirate Swarm in 3.5 live. Something I'll potentially try over the weekend to get some footage of. It was quite fun in the PTE though. It was something that I would say was worth playing if you already have a copy of the game. Is there any talk of increasing the server count? Yes, server-side object container streaming would make that a possibility. They want to get things potentially like full persistence and object container streaming, the server side of that, in this year, and lots of server optimizations. We'll have to wait and see if that's actually a reality though, but that's what they've said. I'm interested to know what people think that the Tumbril Cyclone, the Tumbril Systems project could be, that they sneak peeked. I'm hoping military vehicle APC or something. Anything else in the monthly report that I was excited about? What's there? They're obviously made a load of progress on Squadron 42 episode 1. They do look like they are trying to push that for a release next year, and I am expecting that now. Currently, beta phase planned for Q2 of 2020. That is going to be dependent on them getting another, 50 to 100 people employed and working on the game as well. Tumblr is releasing a new four-door sedan. Oh god, just a little civilian car. I think a lot of people would be happy with that. Exciting. Okay, so I'll check out. I didn't actually see this reverse. Was the reverse the verse live? The reverse the verse. Sit down with narrative director Dave Haddock and lead writer Will Wisbaum, who take us inside the process of develop story elements and lore aspects essential for the future of Stanton's rest stops. I didn't see this earlier. I'll have a watch through it later and see if it's got anything newsworthy in it. Typically, the lore team are pretty good because they do touch on loads of aspects of the game, and the game obviously builds into a lot of that stuff. Okay. So ship rentals are planned for 3.6 at the moment. Oh. Okay. The coffee makers do work. They're interesting. Urzers and Lynxes went in are sort of commercially focused. Do you reckon the new Tumbril could be a burlier sort of in the vein of armored personnel carrier? I'm hoping armored personnel carrier. Yes, light armored personnel carrier would be pretty slick. Or utility vehicle. Happy with any of them. I'm happy with the tow vehicle, to be honest. You expect their new Orson Landy? What? The chat's gone mad. But yeah, any other questions about anything? Any other news I wanted to talk about? I'm going to be much more active on the Discord, is the plan. I did start to do that, but then Star Citizen imploded. So hopefully that'll be fixed by tomorrow morning for me. I'm going to go to bed in a minute. I do appreciate all the support and kind words and feedback and suggestions and the lot of money that people chuck at me, which is absolutely fantastic. Any donations I make over the next week are obviously going to go to beer money for BoredGamer, and potentially, like, you know, giving back to BoredGamer, raffle tickets or whatever. Let's have a quick look at this, actually. JR Fabrication. JR Fabrication are going to be there as well. They make cool Star Citizen props. They make, like, 2/3 size. I think it's 2/3 size. Drake bikes and Ravens and stuff that are pretty fucking cool. And they do sort of like this stuff for Citizen Cons. So I think they do all this sort of like fitting and desks and cool stuff. But they make Star Citizen officially licensed props. Let's give them a boom. They're also starting, it looks like, potentially make quite expensive, but maybe quite cool, officially licensed models. If they start to make spaceships, this is sort of like their prototype one of the Grey Cat Buggy. If they start to make Auroras and all the other ships in the game, I don't know why I started with Auroras. I suppose it's the one you'd start with. Then I will buy the hell out of them. Look reasonable. I'm pretty good at painting, so I'll probably grab one and see what it looks like. So my only problem with this is that I would prefer these. I'm really against elitism, but and exclusive stuff. But I would prefer these to be collectibles. I would prefer them to do a run of like 1,000 of them or 100 of them, or whatever. Potentially charge more because of that, but then I'd more likely to collect them. Get a base for them, but that is just me when it comes to collecting models. I'll get a video up talking about the new drug labs and where to buy and sell all the different things. You can't really make much money on those commodities at the moment, though, across the verse. Yeah, and sorry, I'm doing my Teletubby shirt. The green screen is apparently a same colour green as this yellow. It looks very different to my eyes, but not to the camera's eyes. And your eyes. I am an international celebrity. I'm of a very minor stature, actually, I've got quite a big tummy now. I'm actually considering joining the Star Citizen team as an animator. Oh, fucking awesome. They are one of the highest recruiting companies these days. Have you ever considered yourself joining? I'd be terrible at a normal job, like a 9-to-5 job. I'm bipolar, and previously known as manic depressive, and I'm very orientated to, like, I have terrible anxiety attacks and things, and sometimes I just need to get away from people. So what I do now is great. It started out as me leaving restaurants to do some care work for my brother, and then I sort of like became his full-time carer, and then I started doing YouTube at the same time because I was like, oh, this actually works for me. I can do something during the day. I'll be bored otherwise, and I do want to focus on something and look at getting a job properly. And I started doing that, and I was like, this is actually a good way of making money. I quite enjoy it. I can see YouTube thing, and then I sort of like found my way into Diablo 3 and then Star Citizen, and I was like, no one's actually doing Star Citizen content. And as I started like understand YouTube and how it all works and what videos were sort of like people wanted to see from gaming, because I wanted to do something like I enjoy, I just started doing some stuff with Star Citizen, and then it just became more and more popular, and yeah. But no, I don't want to work with them, for them. I don't think so anyway. Maybe they've got a really, really perfect job. Bored, what you got to do is sit in your house in your pants and do exactly what you're doing, and we'll give you some money for it. Maybe. Can they make you a full-sized cutty? Probably. If you wanted a full-sized cutlass or the snub cutter, which might be a thing in the future, and we'll have to wait and see. They could probably do it. It would cost you a fuck ton of money. In real life, I listen to your updates every day while driving around at work here in Miami. I appreciated World War stuff. I realised there is a website to download Lumberyard game dev program. Do you think the open source downloadable one has the same modifications as the one CIG are using? No. Sasua. I think they've very much got their own modules and have very heavily modified the Lumberyard. I suspect there are some similarities to it, and some bits you could import and find out from. I also suspect that learning to use Lumberyard would give you some ability to understand their engine. Well, for BoredGamer merch, Robert Campbell, you are talking to a man that will shamelessly plug his own stuff. What BoredGamer? So I've got a website. I don't know if you know this. I've got a website with high quality Star Citizen content on daily. Bam, pepper piao. Also, you can. Also got a clothing and merch store. Okay, for the women's. Okay, for the men's. You want some t-shirts? Boom. Here's some t-shirts. They're actually some of the other guys that play with me on the channel. I mean, you don't worry about them. Just get these ones. These are the cool BoredGamer ones. And maybe get Zinnia ones as well in the future. She's going to be working with me full time. She's going to be a full-time employee. She's leaving her job to come work for me. She's an idiot. But she'll be my idiot. Shit. I haven't fucking heard from DC and Zin for like a week. They've moved house. Not to get away from me, hopefully. I don't think they've had internet for the last few days, which has been terrible. Playing Division 2 a lot recently as well. But yeah. Boom. Get merch, mate. You get that merch, you wear that merch, you love that merch. BoredGamer.tmail.com. If you want some like BoredGamer egg cups, mate, we'll get those done as well. Why not? What I'll do, Thomas McMillan, is I will probably do 2 videos. One will be specifically about the new drugs in game and where to find the stash houses for them, and where you can sell them. And then I'll do a deeper cargo hauling, cargo gameplay, and at least at the either a small little section on a small little quick start tutorial on this is all the commodities, this is where to sell them, this is how it makes money. These are some programs that you can use to track the prices, to understand how everything's going. Either that as a standalone video, or at the beginning of a deeper gameplay of this is how cargo hauling works and the pitfalls that you might have and the sort of gameplay and the different sizes of ship, in a bit more detail for 3.5. It'll be one or the other, or both, all of them, you know. Those are all my brain just exploded at you, and with no actual focused thing I was talking about, just general, yeah, but do some videos on hauling. Robert Campbell, no, so my bipolar is erratic. It's really erratic. It can be, I've just been given £1,000 by someone because they love me, and I'll I'll be super fucking depressed. I feel guilty. I hate the world. And conversely, something bad might happen, and I might be calm and quite happy, just about like, yeah, it's all good. Yeah, I'm fine about this. It's really weird, my bipolar, and sometimes it's sort of like quite manic, sort of like super socialization. When I was younger, I was sort of like really wanted to go out, wanted to party, wanted to stay out all night. Extreme so. It's much more manageable now, but it was very big, sort of like random mood swings of, oh my god, the world's so terrible. Woo, let's rock party! Sort of crazy stuff. Do you think that having global proximity chat on by default and adding ship-to-ship hailing would make gameplay more engaging and memorable at the current state of the game? It'd be interesting. I'm not sure if you want global proximity chat on by default, though. Anytime you're on comms calls, I mean, maybe it would be cool. Still have a push-to-talk button. As long as you still have the push-to-talk button. I don't want people being able to accidentally hear conversations that are out-of-game conversations. You know what I mean? As long as that's catered for. I like the idea of comms and chatting to people and hailing people, ship to ship, pirates going, I'm going to cut you, and people trying to extort people and alliances and things. I think it's great. It needs to be handled well, because if the comm system doesn't work or is a bit shit, then people will just use Discord. I sort of like, I play, at least I haven't the last week, because in DC have been moving house. I play a load of Apex Legends. I'm really enjoying Division 2 at the moment. When haven't got anything else to do and I'm chilling, I will play card-based roguelikes. So actually, but the one I'm playing at the moment was Slay the Spire. Really enjoy that. Quite enjoy Darkest Dungeon occasionally. I will start streaming other games during the week as well, especially when Zin's working for me, because we will be playing Rust together. We'll be playing, probably might do a playthrough of The Forest again. It will be co-op type, interesting gameplay, or hopefully interesting, but more social. Hey BoredGamer, first time watching you. How downgraded are in-game graphics in comparison to advertised videos? The graphics in game are superb, probably better than any other game, by far. The in-game graphics currently. Stuff you're typically seeing of any advertised video or whatever, typically not as good as the current in-game graphics on a good computer. So if you're running 1440p or 4K with a high-spec PC, the game looks fucking superb. If anything, Vancorn, Star Citizen is like a screenshot simulator 2077. It's amazing. Like the game, the way it looks is amazing. There's lots of problems with it at the moment because it's an alpha, and there's lots of problems with the servers at the moment because they've just got a live build and there's some issues with that. But the game is fantastic. Advertised videos of the game are typically, in my opinion anyway, not as good as the actual current in-game graphics. If you're talking about like the Squadron 42 latest trailer, had some pretty slick bits in it. I'd still say a couple of amazing looking scenics. Still say some of the scenics you can get in game now look better, and they're real because I'm there. Your YouTube description still says 3.5 in Nifgadi. I didn't update that. I went live because I was tired. Apologies. Thank you very much, Henry, though. I will check that out, and I need to update all of that. There's a section I update, like the defaults to my videos in YouTube, but it doesn't do it for the live stream stuff. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the normalization of me being a bit crazy sometimes. Bored, how are you doing, my friend? Stormfire, love your face. I'm doing fine, thank you very much. I am going to go to bed in a second. I've tired myself out somewhat. I was bored, and well, I am bored. But there was some problems with Star Citizen today, and I've had a terrible couple of days, just being anxious as fuck. So, by my French. Yeah, so it was a bit lame. But I thought I'd come online and chat for a bit. Tomorrow morning, I'll wake up early and I'll just power through some Star Citizen content that I want to get done. Maybe to meet at least some of you at BoredGamer next weekend, if you're around there. And hopefully CitizenCon, it's almost certainly going to be in the UK this year. Hopefully I'll see a lot of you at CitizenCon as well. I'm moderate at Apex Legends. I mean, I'm good if I'm in a reasonable team. I know how they play. DC is genuinely very good, but he doesn't trust his teammates as much. Zin and me play fucking fantastically together, team play wise. Actually, me and Kit play all right team play wise as well. Gets a bit flighty, like I used to get flighty at the game. Yeah, Star Citizen needs to be more than just looking amazing though. They've done an arse about face a way of doing some of their development, which has worked amazingly well financially for them. They made Star Citizen look and feel beautiful in certain areas, and they sort of like proved that they can potentially do what they say they can do now. And they've developed and evolved the game with the community. But they very much had this, the game looks fantastic now. And it's going to look a billion times, a magnitude better probably by the time it actually gets released. By the time Squadron 42 episode 1 gets released, because they're going to be adding loads of these optimizations at the end, and Vulcan and HDR support and all the pretty optimizations, all the graphics things, all the scalability, and it's focused on PC. I mean, they might go to next-gen consoles if they can support Star Citizen, but it's going to be a PC game ported down to console, not the other way around. I'm always fucking okay with. And when it's the other way around, I get fucking mad. Sorry, that's a bit of a rant. I'd love a half track in game. I'd love a tracked vehicle in game, to be honest. And I'd like to see how tracks would work. Oh, you think the green screen, you think the bluish light is mixing with the yellow? That's quite possible. I've got lighting around me. I just don't want to turn it on because my eyes hurt. that would actually sort it. Right. I love you guys. You're some of my favourites because you're here now. Sometimes that's all I need. But yes, hopefully I'll see some of you next week. Hopefully I'll see some of you at CitizenCon. If you want to get involved with playing some games with Star Citizen during probably the weekend, assuming the servers work, and next week and beyond, please join my Discord, discord.gg/BoredGamer. I think it's just BoredGamer. Let's assume it's just BoredGamer. Might be BoredGamer UK. I think it's just BoredGamer. I'm tired. What kind of PC setup would you need to run the game at 4K? Probably a 2080 Ti. To run it effectively at 4K. I suspect. Still going to have... There's no real card, in my opinion, at the moment, that supports high frame rate 4K games. At the way they're supposed to be intended. But the 2080 Ti gets pretty close. 1080 Ti is a beautiful card. Fantastic card. Don't get me wrong. The 2080's got a little bit of extra performance there that sort of like gets it to 60 frames per second, 4K pretty well. Not on everything, but on all the stuff. That's the closest you're going to have at the moment. You never won the ship giveaway. I have a load of people entering now, Floorboard. There's a couple of Star Citizen channels I saw giving away a ship every video. I think you've got 100 people. There's no way you're doing that. However, I will enter all of your competitions to see if it's true. Okay, 1080 Ti runs 4K pretty well. 40 plus frames per second. Okay, so typically I would like 60 frames per second plus. It's sort of like minimum for me, really. I know we haven't always had that in Star Citizen. I know it dips below that, especially in PTU patches and places that aren't optimized. But yeah. Right. Fucking love your faces, guys. You take care. I'm taking my glasses off. Hope you sleep well. I'm going to go to bed. But I will probably stream some gameplay over the weekend. I want to get a load of videos done. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for participating, sort of like in the explosion of my brain and my problems and everything at you. I do appreciate that. So thank you. You take care, guys. Love you. Peace out. Oh, let's go find someone to host, actually. Peace out. Let's go find someone. We will go and host Captain Richard. I've not hosted him for a while. If you want to go and watch some action of Star Citizen now, then you probably want to check out Rexilla, who runs little FPS missions every night with a load of other people, which are pretty cool. We're going to go host Captain Richard. Love you guys. You take care. Hope everyone else has a good Easter weekend as well. Thank you very much, Stormfire. I'm cooking Easter dinner for my parents on Sunday, and my father is doing very well. Thank you very much. He has decided to stop his chemo. He did not like chemo. He was fine for the first few days, and then he's just like, oh, I feel sick. It's horrible. I can't swallow. Okay, can't taste anything. He was in genuine pain for 2 days. So I'm fine. I don't want this. Okay, cool. So he's made a decision. Not going to go through any more chemo. Hopefully, he won't have any more problems in the future. He does have cancer in his lymph nodes, though, but apparently that can stay there for an indefinite period of time. So let's hope that he doesn't have any problems in the future. But he's pretty old. As long as he's got 20 years left in him, that'd be pretty fucking amazing. But yeah. I'm ranting. Love you guys. Take care. Peace.